What is going on, guys and gals? It's me, your old buddy Mistermoose, back in the garage and ready for some more Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. And I'm ready for part 2 of our 1966 Chevy C10 build. This is a mod by Fulysic. It is available for you to download inside of the Steam forums. Now, to get there, you just go into your Steam, go to Car Mechanic Simulator 2018, click on the discussions button, and then once you get into the forums, look for the modding forum, and then you look for Fulysic's workshop, and that is where you will find this truck and all of his other mods available for download. That's pretty much where I find all of my mods, is there in the modding forum. I go through the different garages, find the cars that are interested in me, the ones that you might be interested in, and I download them and put them into my game. And so that's pretty much it. Because a lot of people are asking me, well, where do you find all these mods? One place, that's where I go. Now, there are some modders out there putting them other places, but I like to stay right there in the forums. Hopefully soon enough we'll get our Steam workshop. But anyways, we started yesterday on this pickup truck. I bought this thing for just a little over $4,000 in the junkyard, stripped it all the way down to the frame, which is the coolest part of this different mod, because you can actually take the body off of the frame on this one. If you didn't see the video yesterday, go back and watch it, to where we did the suspension and got the car all up to this point, because it was actually a pretty fun build. All right, so let's put those back on there. And today we are going to be working on the power plant for this thing, which is a blown V8 overhead valve, V8 overhead valve engine for you. So anyways, we got to take this bad boy apart, see what we can salvage, and then we'll, you know, as always, go to the store and start buying all the parts for it. Anyways, if you like today's build and you enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button for me. Maybe comment down below. Share the video with your friends. And, of course, if you haven't already, you enjoy the content and want to see some more, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I try to do new content each day, but there are days when I get sidetracked and go do other stuff. After all, I am a video gamer, and some days I just don't feel like recording videos. I'm guilty of it. So I started to touch base on this yesterday too in the video, and then I got a little sidetracked with what I was doing. You know, I'm gonna keep doing the car mechanic videos. A lot of people have asked me, you know, because God forbid I take a day off, you know, all of a sudden, have you given up on Car Mechanic Simulator? No, I just played some different games for a little bit, you know. But there are a lot of new games going to be coming out, with it being the fall release schedule. You know, we got the new map for the Hunter, came out yesterday. I bought it. I'm going to play it a little bit. Took that out a little bit early. There is, you know, American Truck Simulator is going to have a new map come out soon. I'm going to be playing that. The new version of Spin Tires is going to be coming out. I'm going to be playing that a little bit. Of course, Gold Rush is out now. I'm playing it. And then there's still Farm Sim and the stuff that I do on a regular basis. And I want to get more back into my Flight Sim stuff. As soon as PMDG releases their JS 4100 for Prepared 3D version 4, I'm going to get back into flying my air hauler stuff and working on that a little bit more. So there are other games that I play, and I'm typically, you know, I try to, when a game is new and everybody's really interested in it, I try to showcase it as much as possible. Then as the newness wears off and it's not really so much of a popular thing, and you know, pretty much once we've shown everything about that game, I'll start backing off of it a little bit, but keep it going, you know, especially if it's something very popular on the channel, which is, you know, rightly so. This game is very popular right now. I get probably my highest views off of this game right now. So I'm not going to toss it to the back, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be every single day doing a car mechanic video. I'm going to try to keep it going. But, you know, again, what's going to keep this game a little bit fresh is going to be the mods. Because, to be honest with you, nobody really wants to watch the the job stuff. Nobody wants to watch you grind through doing brake jobs and transmission jobs and stuff like that. All anybody's tuning in to see is the mods. They want to see what mods you're doing and what cars are out there. And, you know, they have specific cars they want to see you build. And that's it. Nobody wants to watch you level. So I could do videos grinding out jobs to get levels. Nobody's going to be interested in that. So there is going to be some sort of life cycle on the game anyways. Just if the mods don't keep coming, you know, it's going to lose a little bit of interest. You know, when there's a DLC come out, people are going to be interested in it. So there are going to be some days when I don't record car mechanic videos, but for the most part, I'm going to keep them going. Woohoo! We had a lot of stuff didn't repair this time. Woohoo! We're going to be buying a lot for this car. Of course, we know we're not going to get the supercharger rebuilt. We're going to have to replace the intake manifold for the supercharger and all that. So there's going to be a lot to replace this go around. But anyways, I just want to share that information just so you guys understand where I'm at. And if I do a farm sim video one day and I don't do a car mechanic video, it doesn't mean I've stopped doing car mechanic. It just means for that day, I thought I'd go in a different direction with the channel. But car mechanic will be right back. Live streams is the same thing. I'm going to be showing a lot of different games in my live streams versus, you know, playing like car mechanic right now, because there's a lot of stuff that I want to showcase in the live stream. So, all right, let's look at this real quick and then I can gab on later. Cam gear, we know we always need. We need a camshaft. We need another carburetor. We need another clip. We've got a crankshaft. That's good, but we need one more crankshaft bearing cap. We always have to replace the pulley. Let's focus on the engine only there, Moose. We need one engine head. The distributor, seems like we go through this song and dance every time. The distributor's broken, but we got a good cap and a button. Let's see, the oil filter always has to be replaced. Rings got to be replaced. Pistons got to be replaced. Radiator's good. We need all new rocker arms. Rod caps, we have 3 rod caps, so we're gonna have to buy a bunch of those. We'll need a couple of air scoop filters. We'll need the scoop, it was not there. 8 spark plugs as always. Supercharger, all this is always bad. Timing chain, we need a timing chain cover. We'll always replace the push rods, and we need a water pump. So we need a whole lot. Let's see what we got in the warehouse. So yeah, because like I said, last night I had somebody come into a live stream and was like, "Are you done with Car Mechanic Simulator?" No, not done with it. Now, it might not be in the live streams as much as anything else is, but I'm not done with it by any chance. All right, so we're going engine. Let's go ahead and just search V8. Overhead valve. Let's see what we got. I know we need a gearbox too for this thing, but let's see. Performance head, different crankshaft. Got the crankshaft anyways. That's an F. That's an F. I don't have anything for this thing. Wow. Hurting for parts. I do have a gearbox though. That's good. So we're going to need a lot of parts for this thing. All right. Shopping we shall go. I wonder if I ought to just get in the habit of just buying everything brand new for the car and just scrapping all the other parts. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. I got to be honest with you. I do like the whole concept of repairing up as much as you can repair and then going from there. All right, we need a scoop. We need an alternator. Then when we get down here, we need the cam gear for V8 overhead valve. And we're going to need a camshaft this time. One of the few times we've had to buy one of those. Need another 4-barrel. And then we need a clip B. Let's see, what else do we need? We need one of these caps, and then we need that pulley. Then we're going to need the head. Didn't see any valve covers, did we? So we need that valve cover and that valve cover. We're also going to need a couple of exhaust manifolds, so we'll grab those. Let's see. Fuel filter would be good. Yeah. Yep. I think we've already done the fuel tank, so we're pretty good there. Ignition coil, distributor. We're good on all that. We need some plug wires. We don't need an intake manifold because we're getting that with a supercharger. So we'll take that. We're going to need an oil pan. I didn't see one of those either. All right, so rings, we need a total of 8. Pistons, we need a total of 8. So their new parts appeared in the last update, and I don't know where they came from or what they go to. But like these piston rings that are C class, that's new. The rounded over pistons that aren't flatheads. Interesting. I guess that's something coming for the DLC. Let's see. Power steering pump. Yeah, I can see that we need one of those. We got the radiator. We got a fan. We're good on that. We need 16 rocker arms. It's a little weird for me now because, like, when we were going through this on the suspension, things are in a different place. I'd memorized where everything was on screen here, and so now it's a little bit different for me because things have moved over just a couple of slots, so they're not exactly where I'm used to them being. Throwing me off a little bit, I gotta tell you. All right, 2 of those. All right, so because like serpentine belt A ought to be right here, but now that there's all these other versions of it, it's shifted over to here. And then serpentine belt B ought to be right here, but again, it's slipped over a couple of slots and is here, so it throws me off a little bit since they've added those new parts in. All right, so that gets that done. We're gonna need a starter because I know we didn't have one of those. We need one of them, and we need one of those, and we need that and that. Timing chain ought to be right here, but it's slipped over one spot. All right, and then the timing chain cover is there. Next thing we need is the push rods. There's 16 of those. Yeah, it's interesting how one little thing like changing the parts out can mess you up. Because like this water pump used to be always over here. And then we don't need a water pump pulley because the water pump pulley comes off of the supercharger on this build. So, all right. Let's go ahead and start putting it back together. So the engine block goes in first as always. And then we'll throw in our crankshaft. And I like to do this with the crankshaft bearing caps, and then I'll start putting in one row of pistons, and then I'll flip the engine and go that direction. So for those who might be new to watching the videos, I do things a little bit different. I like to do them a little bit more like I would do them if I was building one in my garage. And in all honesty, if I was building one in my garage, I'd do one at a time. I would put one in, but in the sense of this video not being 2 hours long, I'll go ahead and lace up 4 across the top, then come over here and do all the connecting rod caps and get them done. But, you know, again, if I was doing this in my garage, I'd put one in at a time, connect the rod caps, and then I'd rotate the engine 360 degrees to make sure that that piston wasn't binding at all or anything else like that. So then we rotate the engine now, 2 clicks, and then we come back and we put the next set of pistons in. Come on. All right, so we'll put all 4 of these in. Come on down here. We'll put in our rod caps. So in the live streams this week, Fulysic has been dropping by. The other night he asked me what vehicle I would absolutely Like, what vehicle would I like to see in the game? And man, I don't know if he'll do one, but man, the car that came to mind that I would really love to see added into the game that's not in there, because you know, you got to start thinking what's coming, what's in here, what's not in here, you know, what's basically represented but what's not. And the one car that came to mind that I would love to see is like a 65 Falcon. Now, I pushed it a little bit further and challenged him with the whole convertible thing, but I don't think he can do it. He was telling me he couldn't do a convertible, which sort of stinks, but you know, it'd be cool. All right, so our time chain belt is on. With that in place and the cam in place, we can go ahead and slap our heads on, and we'll bolt those up, going from inside to outside. That way you get even pressure put down all the way across the head. Certainly there's more bolts than this to do, but we're just trying to give it as best a representation as we can do. All right, so we'll go ahead and put in our valve push rods. And I'll go ahead and put all 16 of these on and get them all laced in. And then we'll start putting the rod caps on, or the rocker arms on. I need to come over here so I can jump to this side so I can get the camera angle right. Oh, that glare. There we go. One at a time going in. So we reached the halfway point in the month. We still don't have a, you know, it's been about a week now. We still don't have the tuning DLC. And no news on when the Jeep DLC is going on. It does seem like the devs have kind of gotten a little quiet. Not as communicating or communicative as they were at the release of the game. It seems like they've kind of hushed up a little bit. And I think one thing they need to do to keep this community happy is be transparent and be honest with people and do some updates. You know, they ought to have, like, don't put dates on things. Don't say, hey, we're going to have this done on Monday, but at least be open with the community and say, this is what we're working on this week. These are the issues that we have. We're delayed a little bit. We hope to have this done by the end of the month, but here's what we're working on, and this is what we're seeing, and this is going to give you some sort of an idea on where we're at with it. Just you know, zipping the lip and not saying anything will start irritating people, and I've already seen a little bit of it starting to surface in the forums, and hopefully they will not get super quiet and not be talking to the community and not telling everybody what's going on, because if they were real good when they messed up and people weren't happy, they were real good about jumping out there and saying, oh, we know this is wrong, we're fixing this, we're working on it, we'll have this out in 2 days, and we'll work in 2 more patches, and this will be worked out at a week after that. And we're not getting that anymore. Now we're getting mystery dates that don't make sense and no real info on what the status is on the Jeep DLC or on the tuning package. It'd be nice to get a little more info than we're getting right now. All right, I guess with everything buttoned up, we'll go ahead and put our valve covers on, or head covers, however you want to refer to them. Go ahead and do this one. We got our distributor done. All right. Let's hold off on the plugs. Nah, we'll go and put plugs in. That's fine. I'm just trying to think of if I would put plugs in or not at this point. It has been a while since I've built a motor and put it in and flew one. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't know that I would put the plugs in yet. I would hate to be putting one in and something happen and you break it off in the motor by accident. And then you gotta work on trying to get it out. Exhaust pipes, yeah, I don't have a problem putting those on now. I find myself questioning myself on some of this stuff. It's like, well, you know, you do like to do things sort of realistic. Would you have put that on there before you put the motor in the car? You know, and stuff like alternators and power steering pumps, air conditioning compressors, probably would have hung those already. But I'm not sure if I would have put the, I'm not sure if I would put the spark plugs in. I wouldn't put the fan on. I wouldn't put the, you wouldn't put anything up above the intake manifold because you got those chains that go on there and you're probably not going to lift that in. So, you know, that's just a fact of the matter. So at this point, just for realism, we're going to go ahead and pull the engine at this point, and we'll build the rest of it in the car. Of course, you guys know you don't even have to use the engine stand. You can build everything right in the car if you want to. But I mean, an engine stand's like what, a $50 part at Harbor Freight for those who live in the US. I can't think of too many people who don't own one because it's just too easy to build a motor on an engine stand. Now, a cherry picker like this or an engine hoist, not everybody's going to have one of these in their shop. You can put an engine in a car with a simple set of come-alongs hooked to the floor joist of your you know, house if you've got a two-story house and a car garage, or even just on the beams in your garage. You beef a couple of them up, put a cross member support in there, and you throw a chain around it and a set of come-alongs. Harbor Freight, $30 for a chain hoist, I think is what it is. That's what I pull motors out of the car with when I'm out. I'll pull a motor out of a boat using a tree limb and a chain hoist. So, you know, you don't necessarily have to have that, but an engine stand, that's probably something that most everybody goes out and buys. It's just it's too good to have. All right, so we'll go ahead and put our supercharger on now. It's good. We put the belt on there. God, I do love having the front end off of this because it gives you so much more room to maneuver. If you could turn off the radiator so the radiator didn't show up right now, like if you could specify parts to not ghost in so that you can work on the front of the motor and get everything in, how awesome would that be? But to have all this clearance without the front end. Now, in reality, there would be a piece of metal across here. There's a cross member that goes across here, so you wouldn't have all this wide open space to the motor, but you would have a lot of room to work. All right, let's get that carburetor on. But yeah, having all the parts, having everything off of this thing like this, super nice. There we go. All buttoned up and looking beautiful. Good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and lift up the engine, or lift up the car. And we got to go buy some parts for the gearbox. I'm pretty sure I've got a clutch and nothing else. So, which is pretty, you know, pretty standard. Pretty much you usually get the clutch plate repaired, the drive shaft repaired, and maybe the gearbox repaired. So you're always buying the pressure plate, the release bearing, and the flywheel. And then while I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and buy for the exhaust. I'm going to buy these rear muffler Ds, because that's what we are using this go around. See, there's new exhaust pipes too in here. Front exhaust section C, that's new. It's got to be stuff they're doing for the Jeep DLC. Going ahead and getting that stuff in place. Must be what it is. Anyways. Alright. Let's go ahead and put the flywheel on. Thank you very much. Clutch plate. Pressure plate. A little screw there, a little screw there. One there, there, and there. Release bearing. Gearbox goes on. And we'll go ahead and tighten up the bolts for that. Sweet. Got a starter to go in. I bought one of those, so I know we got one. And then we go ahead and do the drive shaft, if I can get to it. Holy cow, that's going to be... this. There we go. Alright, so, drive shaft. Nice. She'll just see that. I guess he had to stretch that drive shaft out just a wee bit more than it's supposed to be. Something's wrong there. I think that might twist in half. Oh, don't worry. It'll be covered up by the carpet on the inside of the car. Nobody will see it. I'm sure he like cringes, you know. I'm sure everybody like Moose doesn't miss a whole lot on this stuff. He can make stupid mistakes, but he'll find those little itty bitty things like that all the time. Well, that's not much clearance behind that wheel either. Man, you have too much compression on this thing and you're gonna be rubbing a hole in the back of that muffler. I know. Y'all do realize I'm just joking around about some of this stuff. Like, I'm not being nitpicky on it. I know they're stuck with the limitations of what they can do with the game. It's just humorous. All right, so hey, look, he put his name on there. Nice. I even found that. Dude, I love this frame thing. I just absolutely am jonesing over this. It's just absolutely wonderful. Let's go ahead and put some oil. Well, that's not going to help us that much. There, that'll work. Oh, I don't need to go in there. I need to come here. Need to get in the right mode. Let's pour some oil down here. And one to grow on. Yep. All right. So let's go over to this side of the motor. If we can jump over here on the dipstick. Where you at, dipstick? Where's the dipstick at? Oh, there it is. It's stuck inside of the suspension. Well, you know, that's a challenge. I really want to check the oil on this. This is a challenge. And oh, there it is. Oh, a little low. See, that's the thing. If you don't go, there are some people who will grief me because, you know, when I put oil in it, look, I've played this game enough. I know that when you put the oil in it, you have to hold it up here until it starts pouring out of the cap and that's full. But when I do that, people are like, "What are you're overfilling it. It's coming out the top. You need to stop sooner than that." Look, I stopped like 2 seconds before it overflowed and it wasn't completely full. So I give it that couple of extra seconds and you go to that part and oh, there it is. It's full. You play this game long enough, you realize you have to fill it all the way up to where it just kind of bubbles out of the top of it if you want it to be full of oil. Does it really matter? Not really, but anyways, I digress. That should be everything as far as the engine. If we look real quick at this thing, global parts condition, 97%. What is missing? What could possibly be missing? What am I missing? What did I forget? I don't know. Oh, well, I haven't put the battery in the radiator in there. Nah, okay, that's what it is. I'm sure somebody at home right now is yelling or commenting in the video, "You moron, it's this." But I'm trying to do this a little bit different. I'm trying to do this build a little bit different, okay? Because we've never had a car that you could take off the frame. So I'm trying to do this a little bit more realistic on this build, seeing as we were able to take it all the way to the frame, repair the frame, put the suspension on the frame and have a rolling chassis. And now we're getting to the part where we're going to buy all the body panels and start putting all the body panels on here. And so yeah, it's a little bit different beast than we're used to doing. Let's see, I've already got the back end. There we go. Yeah, so before I put the radiator, since I don't have, and again, you and I all know that there should be cross members across here, and then there's also wheel wells that need to come across here before we put the fenders on and all that other stuff, right? But, you know, since that's not represented, then before I put the radiator on, I want to put the front end on. There. So now I have a front end on here. Now I can actually go and put the radiator in, and it won't look stupid like the radiator is just floating in midair. Is that something I absolutely need to do? No. Is it something I want to do because I think it makes it look a little bit, you know, more right? Yeah. So there, radiator's in, and I still haven't charged the battery up. Dumb me. Dumb. Somebody asked me the other day, they were like, "Hey, by the way, is there any chance of failure on the batteries?" No, there's not, which is really sad. I mean, you ought to have to, I mean, why are the batteries even in the shop if I can charge them up 100% of the time? Well, I guess because early on in the game, you have to, you know, buy batteries if a battery's bad, but you should have some sort of RNG, just like repairing parts over there. There should be something that says periodically you're going to get a battery that's dead. It just is a way to do it. Radiator housing fan B? Oh. Well, there's a new one you don't see every day. But do I have to put the fans in it? That's the question there. Radiator. And we need a B. I'm not going to put the fan in. I'm not going to buy the fans, but as soon as I don't buy the fans, it'll probably ask for them. I get it. You wanted to have a fan shroud there. But now I've got to put 2 fans in here and another fan on the motor and... Okay. I get it. There's not a fan shroud in the game. There should be a fan shroud in the game. Hello, developers. If you have Radiator C, please create a fan shroud for Radiator C to accept either the V8 overhead fan or Radiator fan B, because there should be one. Okay? I'm just... Corvette needs a fan shroud. Everything that uses Radiator C needs a fan shroud. Or some little kid's gonna come looking in and chop their arm off, and your car's not gonna properly cool. That's just kind of silly. But again, not knocking the modder. I'm knocking the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game, right? Anyways. All right, so let's start putting fenders on. Hood on. Put some doors. And some side mirrors. Window glass. That's always been a thing that has been an issue with me in this game. Is even with the previous versions of it, you have a radiator, but you don't have, you know, for a Corvette or some of the old muscle cars, you know, the Chevelles, the Chargers, the Challenger. You got all these cars that were 60s, 70s era cars, and you model the V8 overhead valve engine on there with the front, you know, radiator fan on it, but they don't put a shroud in the game. And that's always been an issue I've had with the game. So, and when you got a cool truck like this with a, oh, wait a minute, you put a wood grain, oh, that is so sharp. Oh, he put a wooden bed in this thing. It's like mahogany or something. I just want to jump up in here and get in the truck now. Oh, at least the tailgate comes down. Oh, that is so sweet looking. That is awesome. Man, I like that. This is such a cool truck. Again, I wish it was this. I said this the other day. It's a 66. I wish it was a 68. The 68 didn't have this big bull nose on it. See how that flares up and everything? The 68 comes and just slopes right over. It has a lot cleaner lines and looks like a hot rod. I mean, it's super cool. This still looks like a farm truck to me, whereas the 68 doesn't look as much like a farm truck for me. All right, so let's see where we're at. Global body condition is 81%. Global body parts 100%, 100%, 100%. We're to 19,000 with this thing. What parts do I still need to put in? I think really it's license plates. I think we're down to license plates on it. And, oh, interior seats and steering wheel. Yeah, about that. I don't even know what we're supposed to put in here. I think we put seats in it. I'm going to need one of those. And I'm going to need one of those. I really wish there was a cooler vanity plate for the front. You know, instead of just that straight, ugly white plate. Because again, as I've said before, where I live, you don't have to have a front plate. The front plate is completely a vanity plate. And in the rear is where the state plate is. Now, I know that's different everywhere you live. You know, places like California, you got to have front and rear plates on it. But where I live, you don't have to. So, all right, to paint we go. And then after that, we'll be doing the interior. The interior will be the last thing we do. Oh, man, look at that. Look at the gloss on that. So supposedly they fixed the lighting in here. That was one of the things they did in the last patch, was balance the lighting so it doesn't look so unnatural in here. So hopefully that's going to help us when we spray the car. We can actually get a color that we like, and we'll know what we're looking at. But I can already see that, I mean, it's a little bit better. This is not great though. Got any liveries? Carbon new. Nah, that's not good. Nope, that's not good. That's different. Yeah, so if you do that, it's just going to be whatever you got. Okay. Yeah, it's not doing it for me. All right, so what color are we going to go with this? Black is a good color for it, of course. I mean, it's just a black truck. I mean, when you're doing a hot rod, you can always be safe with black, but red. Maybe not that blue. There's only so many colors you can do that just look good. Ooh, sort of like a cherry. Like a black cherry sort of color. Maybe get that a little darker. Ooh. Ooh, with that wood in the back. Maybe a little dark. I feel like that's going to be lighter when we get it out of the booth. But I'm liking it. To the door, where at least the light looks right. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. Oh, except the Chevrolet's not in white on the back of it now. That's a bummer. Yeah, I wish that was masked out where that is white or stays white instead of being painted in. Or black. An option to mask that out in white or black would be uber cool. I'm just saying. Especially seeing as you got that white molding or on the trim here. Since you've got that white trim, if you carry it around and you've got the white letters with the black pinstriping on it, carry that to the tailgate, that would look so good. That paint job I like. And some of you guys aren't gonna like it. It sort of looks like a rust sort of color, or like a Phillips Milk of Magnesia color, however you look at it, but it still looks pretty good. All right, so interior, we're gonna put a couple of benches in it, or a couple of seats, and a steering wheel in it. And I really think we're at the freedom to do whatever we want to on it, so we shall go to the upholstery shop and just buy us a couple of really nice seats and put in there. Question is, how hoopty do we want to be? Do we want to go with some really modern seats in there, or do we want to just go with some nice little, you know, sort of like cheesy seat bandit seats? Or like even that seat right there sort of looks like, you know, something that you would put old school type bucket seats in one. The Atlanta wouldn't be a bad bucket seat for it. It would be more period correct. It just depends on whether you were trying to keep the seats that match the car, you know? I will say though, seat 5 is really catching my attention. Seat 5 is like leather egg in there. Well, wait, it's red. We might be able to get away with putting a brown or cream colored leather seat in it. I bet I could get away with this. because you got that deep red, that cream in there might work. All right, so we do that, and then we need a decent steering wheel for it. Because we're going to put this much into making it look good, I think we, we're going with the wood steering wheel. You got that wood bed in the back of the pickup truck, right? Let's put a wooden wrap steering wheel in it too. Plus, that color will sort of bleed into the steering wheel as well. Should, anyways. I don't know. Maybe the seats aren't a good idea. We'll see. Oh, I sort of like it. I mean, you can't tell a lot through the glass, but are we 100% across the board? We are 100% across the board. So I'm wondering now, because I haven't really checked. I haven't done any real looking on this. Just looking at the fact that it says Chevrolet 1966 C10 Stance Works. I'm wondering if he's got multiple versions of this truck now. I'm going to definitely have to look into it since this one is lowered. I'm wondering if maybe he's got just a regular version of the C10. To be honest, I hadn't looked to see if there's multiple versions of this car, but man, I do like it. It looks so good. Hope you guys like it. I'm keeping this one. Definitely keeping this one. This one may sit over here on a lift and never move because I just absolutely love it. I don't know. Let's go drive it. Let's go to the airport and give it a drive. It's got to be another version of it because the picture I just saw from that leads me to believe there's another version of it. Because the thumbnail he's got doesn't look like it's lowered down to the ground. Oh, I wish somebody would come out with a sound pack for this game to clean up that supercharged motor. I mean, it's not too terribly bad, but it's a little annoying. Oh, it sticks. Well, a little bit. Don't wreck it, keep it on the wall. Oh, how did I keep it out of the wall? That was impressive. It's too pretty to wreck. Oh, none of these cars really drive good on this airstrip thing. All right, here we go. Let's put the brake on. And launch. Now we laid a peel. It's always important to be able to spin the tires. And we topped out at 235. Sweet. What a great looking car. Nice. All right. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. What a good looking car. Very nice mod. I am loving it. Hang on real quick. All right, so one thing I wanted to do before we said goodbye on this, I wanted to look at it in the car menu and just see if maybe there's another version of this. And there's gotta be. Oh yeah, there's the stock version of this. Now I'm gonna have to find the stock version and build it, because I can tell by the exhaust alone on it. If we explode it, let's see what engine's in it. Oh yeah, it's got a stock V8 overhead valve engine in it. Suspension's a little bit different. See if you can see this got a leaf spring suspension underneath it. Oh, so there is a stock version of this, and it's got a bench in it instead of bucket seats. Okay, so I'm gonna be finding another one and building another one of these. Ah, look, you put the wood grain steering wheel in there as well. Great minds think alike. All right, but anyway, so yeah, there must be multiple versions of this, and I'm sure he will comment on the video as well and let me know that there are multiple versions of it. Now that I've thought to think about that, which is pretty typical of him. He has you got to kind of look, because he does multiple versions of every car now, it seems. So all right, cool. Well, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed our build today of our street machine, I guess you would call it, or the stance version. And I hope you guys will come back and check out another car mechanic video with me. If you enjoyed today's version, make sure you smack that like button for me. And of course, comment down below, share the video with your friends. And if you enjoyed today's content, you want to see some more, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and come on back and join us for some more Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Until the next time, stay safe, have a great day. See you later. Bye-bye.